Hey, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give Kal Hala Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Rakaha Kodash. That's all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles that labored in this truth before me and taught me this truth. And Shalom to the hopeful elect, right? And we'll be talking about just the spirit you should be in to avoid being a sellout, man, or someone that doesn't endure unto the end in this faith, right? Because there's many things in this world that'll attract you to the world, you know what I mean, and take you out of this truth, out of this understanding, right? And end up worshiping the beast, right? And the image of the beast in his system, you know, more than you worship the Most High God, right? You start leaning on the promises of this world that they're not eternal, man. They're temporary, right? The riches of this world are temporary. But the riches of the kingdom, man, is everlasting, man. They're eternal, right? And that's what we should be looking forward to, right? We shouldn't be out here trying to take trinkets, taking a little bit of paper, a single meal to sell out the truth, man. You know, you got to stand firmly. So we're going to start here in the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 23. It says, by faith, Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents because they saw he was a proper child. And they were not afraid of the king's commandment, right? It takes faith to disobey, you know what I mean, the ordinances of the king and keep the laws of the Most High God, right? Because it tells you in Romans 13 chapter, you know what I mean, you're supposed to follow the government, right? Listen what they say. But when it goes against the laws of the Most High, you have to make a choice, right? And we know this devil here, Esau, Edom, man, is going to get to a point where disobeying him is going to come with death. Especially when he implements his MOTB, the mark of the beast, man, which is the RFID chip. But once that becomes mandatory, you know what I mean, it's gonna be, you have to have strong faith, right? It's not gonna be about your fringes, right, or how many laws you keep. No, it's gonna be about your faith, right? So let's get this and let's keep going. Verse 24 says, by faith Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, right? Choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of the Most High than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, right? And that's where we get a lot of these celebrities, man. They chose rather to be called the sons and daughters of the Pharaoh, man, instead of sticking firmly to the ways of the Most High God, right? They saw the trinkets and the goodies and the giveaways that the devil was giving, you know, Esau, Edom, you know what I mean, the rebirth of this Roman Empire. They saw that the riches of what they were having, and they were jealous of the wicked. Not knowing that, hey, the wicked are only going to be in that position for a short time, man. It's only for a season that they're winning. Let me get this in Job. I believe it's the 20th chapter. Right, yeah. This is Job 20 and verse 5. It says, actually, I'll start at verse 4. It says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment, right? And this kingdom, man, this is the kingdom of the wicked, right? You're only going to have joy. If you join yourself to this kingdom, you're only going to have joy for a short time, man. You're only going to triumph for a short time. Wouldn't you rather be patient and be able to, you know what I mean, rule forever in the kingdom of the Most High God, Yahweh, next to his son, Yahushua? That's the promise, right? You're not going to get that from Christianity. You're not going to get that from Islam. Right? You're only going to get that by following the true and living God, man. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Right? Because Christianity, they teach a whole bunch of different things. But basically, everybody's going to be in the kingdom. They don't know what the kingdom's going to look like. They don't know none of the prophecies. But we tell you, hey, the kingdom is going to be on earth, man. On earth as it is in heaven. Right? All these things, you're going to have 100-fold, right? You want a Bentley, you want a Benz, you want a Rolls Royce. We're going to have our vehicles in the kingdom are going to be 100 times greater than that, man. If you just have imagination and imagine what the kingdom will be like, right? Because the Most High God, his mind is deep. We can't even imagine how great it's going to be in the kingdom, right? If you think living on this earth in this nation is great, shit, man, you can't even fathom what the kingdom's going to be like, man. Living in paradise every day, right? So let's read on. It says, verse 25 in Hebrews 11:25, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of the Most High than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Right? We can't be short-sighted. Right? These celebrities, even people in the truth, selling out, it seems like, for a paycheck or to be more accepted. Any of those things, man, is vanity. Right? Because the truth is the truth, man. The scriptures say what they say, and they don't fight against each other, man. It has to be precept upon precept. You know what I mean? So when you try to go change something and say, oh, everybody can be saved, well, now that's disjointed. What about Obadiah? Now you got to tell a lie, right? What about Isaiah the 34th chapter, Ezekiel 36, right? Ezekiel 39, man. The promises are only made to one seed. So for you to try to go add other people into it, you're going off. All right, reading on. It says, verse 26, esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. Let me see if verse 27. Verse 27, by faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible, right? So, hey, man, we got to esteem, we got to take on the reproach of the Yahushua, man. Yahushua wasn't loved by everybody. You're not going to be loved by everybody if you follow this truth. You got to realize that, but it comes with treasures greater than what Egypt had, man. We got to forsake Egypt, right? In America, Mystery Babylon is spiritually Egypt and Sodom, man. You got to come up out of that mindset, man, so you can be delivered out of here, right? You can have the eternal riches, right? Let's get this in the book of Sirach. Sirach, the 2nd chapter. And I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Right? And a lot of people think you come to the truth, everything's going to be all good, man. You know what I mean? It's going to be a tea party every day, you know. People are clapping and pat you on the back when they see you got fringes on. Nah, man, that's not what it's going to be. You know, you got to realize, hey, just because you come to the truth, the world is still the same. You going to try to get with a girl, you know what I mean? You want to force your beliefs on her. She don't want to hear nothing about it. Why? Because the truth comes with temptation. It comes with trials, man. It comes with tribulation. You have to be patient through all that, right? Verse 2, set thy heart aright and consistently endure and make not haste in time of trouble, right? Don't faint when things get tough, man. You got to push through it. Got to push through it, whatever it may be, man. You're going to have trials and tribulations in your own house, man. But you got to keep the joy of the Lord and keep doing this work. That's all that matters, man, if you doing the work. Now what people around you are doing, all you can do is present the truth to them. But if they don't accept it, got to keep it pushing, man. Don't get all in your feelings. And now you hate the truth because your girl didn't want to follow it, right? Your girl mad because you don't celebrate Valentine's Day. You know what I mean? Your grandma might not make it, so you hate the truth now. Nah, bro. The truth is truth, man. And we know 2/3 of our people are slated to be destroyed. So keep it pushing, bro. You know? Constantly endure. All right, verse 3. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end, right? So cleave unto the Lord so you can be increased in the last day, man. You don't want it right now. I want mine on the back end. You get what I'm saying? We want the most amount of profit. If you take it right now, you're not getting a sliver of what you could get as if you just waited, if you were patient, right? If you didn't sell out, if you stood firmly for the name of the Lord, right? You're going to have greater riches in heaven. Verse 4, it says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. And that's where we are right now, man. We're in the low estate as Israelites. You should know, hey, we're a kingdom of kings and priests. Right, we really shouldn't be out here working for the Edomite. We shouldn't be working for these other nations, man. We should be ruling these nations. But we've been brought to a lower state, ultimately for the Most High's plan, right? Because he planned it that way, because we also went off, man. We broke the covenant. We didn't do what we were supposed to do. We wasn't on our job, right? And our job was to be the righteous of the world, right? To follow the Most High God's example, right? To do Yahweh's will, right? We didn't do that, man. We fell off. Let's get this in Ecclesiastes 10:7, right? It says, I have seen servants, I have seen servants upon horses and prince walking as servants upon the earth, right? So we got people that are meant to be servants, operating as kings over us, man. Even like the lowest Edomite, you go to a job, they'll have the same title as you, but they think just because they're Edomite, they're so-called white person, you so-called black and Hispanic, they believe it's their job to rule over you and tell you what to do. And they not even on their job, right? That's a curse, man. We got servants on horses, right? Trying to rule over us, dictate to us how things should go. And they're not even qualified to be in the position that they in. You know what I'm saying? It's like when we play sports, man. You got this Edomite coach ruling over you, telling you right from wrong, and he never even picked up the ball. He never suited up, strapped up them pads. You know what I mean? He never learned to dribble between his legs, but he's ruling over you because he didn't watch some YouTube videos, right? His pops was a coach, so now he a coach. You know what I mean? That nepotism. But hey, when we in the kingdom, we're gonna practice nepotism too. Right? Only the 12 tribes of Israel are gonna sit on these thrones and rule, man. That's going to be the only people with crowns on their head, the Israelites, right? You got to be patient, man. Don't sell out for one morsel of bread, man. Don't have that Esau syndrome. Let's get this in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, and I'm going to start at verse 54. It says, "And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes," right? The world was made for the Israelites' sakes. Everything here was a gift to the Israelites from the Most High God, right? By Hashem Yahushai, right? Verse 56, "As for the other people which also came of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel," right? The other people are nothing, man. The world was made for the Israelites' sakes, and these other people are nothing. They're just extras in the movie, right? You know what I mean? The Most High God might elevate them to the level of the villain, but it's ultimately, you know what I mean, to show stuff to the Israelites, right? Show stuff to his children, like teach them lessons, right? And ultimately, it's for the betterment of his movie, man. You know what I mean? There's got to be a villain. There's got to be drama in a movie. The Most High God is the great director, right? Verse 57, "And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us," right? We've been brought to that low state, man. It talks about that in Jude, you know, the chains of darkness, right? These bodies that we're in, because that's why we have to get glorified body. That's why we have to be changed. You know what I mean? Get extraterrestrial bodies, put off the incorruptible. Or put off the corruptible for the incorruptible, right? That's what talks about. Paul talks about in 1 Corinthians, man, the 15th chapter, right? Let me see. Verse 58. "But we thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hand. If the world was made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure?" Right? We know how long. We don't know the exact day, but we know we're in the last days, man. Yahushua is coming back to give us back our position, right? It says the house of David shall be as God, right? And that word for God is Elohim, right? We should be as the Elohim again, the people, the spirits that built the earth, right? That's what you're fighting for. Right, let me get this in 1 Timothy, the 6th chapter, the 10th verse, right? It says, "For the love of money is the root of all evil, while which some covet after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows," right? And we see people erring from the faith for filthy lucre's sake, man. You know what I mean? Teaching false doctrines, becoming false prophets. Why? Just to make a little more money, man. To get a little bit more views, right? And it all starts with just not following the will of the Most High God, bro. Trying to create your own way, you know, instead of just teaching what's been taught and going on and teaching the truth, precept upon precept, right? These people will know that what they're teaching is all out of order, but they'll continue to teach it. Why? Because it makes them feel good, right? Their conscience are seared, right? Let's get this in, this is the book of Hebrews chapter 12, and I'm going to get verse 16 in the MSG, the Message, right? It says, "Watch out for the Esau syndrome, trading away God's lifelong gift in order to satisfy a short-term appetite. You well know how Esau later regretted that impulsive act and wanted God's blessing. But by then it was too late. Tears or no tears, right? So, hey, Esau didn't have a place of repentance, man. He sold his birthright for one meal, right? When you get in the NLT, it says he sold his birthright for one meal, the everlasting promise, right? That's Esau syndrome, man. Selling your soul in this life for riches in this life instead of taking hold of the covenant, man. You took a hold of the covenant of the devil, and it's only for a short time, bro. We see we're at the last days, but you lack faith when you do that. You know what I mean? When you don't abide in the doctrine you were taught, you start to teach falsehood, right? Let's get this in, let's go to Sirach. Go to Sirach, the 25th chapter, and the 7th verse, right? And it reads, there be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that hath joy in his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemies, right? And our enemy is Esau Edom, man. With all the things he's done to our people, and we got people trying to save him, right? People want him to be on the chariots with us, right? When it tells you, hey, man, the 144,000 is going to be of the 12 tribes of Israel, right? The 12 is going to be 12 gates. Right, the salvation is for our people, right? Luke 1:67 on down tells you that the Yahweh Shai, the Messiah, came to save his people from those that hate him. Then you go to Psalms 83, it tells you all these nations that hate us, man, they're all the enemies of the Most High God, right? So we shouldn't be trying to get his money, man. Trying to sell our soul to get his money. It's all right to have a job, you know what I mean, get your paper, get in a better position, but you shouldn't be doing everything you can to get his money. Your soul shouldn't be for sale, right? You selling everything in order to get his money. Then when you come into this truth, you're doing everything in this truth to enrich your pockets instead of just staying the course and teaching what needs to be taught, right? Instead of just prophesying. No, you didn't go on and took it upon yourself to make merchandise of the ministry. No, bro, just keep it simple, bro. Right? And this is Isaiah 13:15. It says, everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword, right? And it's talking about during the destruction, right? The destruction of mystery of Babylon. You're joining yourself to them you don't want to see them fall. You sell out because you want this kingdom to continue forever. That's why people, certain people be teaching Gentile salvation. All they do is debate all day. They got sensationalist titles. They don't prophesy. They're not talking about the downfall of America. They're not going to prophecy like that. Why? Because they're joined to this nation, man. And they're going to be destroyed ultimately, right? They think they're still in the truth, but they're teaching all types of falsehoods. How can you be in the truth while telling lies, man? You know what I mean? Blatant lies, especially on the doctrine, on the scriptures, right? Let me get this and matter of fact, that's about it, man. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Hey, man, stay focused, stay diligent, and stay patient, man. Till next time, shalom.